Hi, this is Dawn from Knitch Bunny Crochet. Today I have for us to do the Arcade Stitch. This stitch is great for blankets or for scarves, or you can do this for a washcloth. This is looks like a complicated stitch, but it's really not. It's very simple. All you need to know how to do is a double crochet, single crochet, and the chain stitch. So let's just jump right into the materials that you can use and the hooks and anything else you might need to work the arcade stitch. For today's tutorial, I'm going to be using this medium 4 worsted weight acrylic yarn. It's just some yarn I had left over in my stash. It doesn't matter what size yarn you use as long as your hook and your yarn match. Today I'm going to be using a 5.5 millimeter hook. I'm going to be using my Clover Amore hook today. You'll need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and you might want to have a stitch marker or two on hand just in case you need one. Before I jump into today's tutorial, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that icon right down there in the corner. That'll automatically subscribe you to my channel, and while you're down there, don't forget to ring that bell. That'll notify you whenever I upload a new video. And if you like content like this, please give it a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like my videos, and it also helps me gauge what type of content you like to see on my channel. So the arcade stitch is in a multiple of 6 plus 2. And what that means is that you're going to be starting a foundation chain of multiples of 6. So you just keep chaining until multiples of 6. And you just keep going until you have the length of the project that you want. And then once you have your length in multiples of 6, so sets of 6, you add 2 more chains, and then you're ready to start your project. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to start with a chain of 26. So once you get your length of chain, come on back. Now that we have our chain of 26, that is a multiple of 6, which would be 24, plus 2 for the turning chains. We're going to start second chain from hook. The loop on your hook does not count as a stitch. So we're going to go 1, 2, and start in that second chain. Now you can work into that chain like this, or you can flip over your chain like I'm going to do, and we're going to work in these back bars of the chain. So we're going to go 1, 2, and we're going to work a single crochet. Work 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way down the chain. I will meet back up with you at the end of the chain. We're at the end of row 1. This is our setup row. At this point, we should, if you're working the same size swatch as I am, you will have 25 single crochet. To start row 2, we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and we're going to put a single crochet in the first 2 stitches. 1 and 2. Chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to repeat that for the length of the row. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then single in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. So repeat that to the end of the row, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row where you should have 2 stitches remaining. I'm at the end of row 2. We're going to skip the next 3 stitches and there'll be 2 stitches remaining, and we're going to single crochet in those last 2 stitches. 1 and 2. To start row 3, we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and we're going to single crochet in that first stitch. And this might be where you want to start using your stitch markers. You might want to grab out a stitch marker and put it in that very first stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to go right to the chain space, and we're going to put 5 double crochets into that chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch, single crochet. Again, skip the next stitch, and we're going to go right to the chain space, yarn balling up there, and we're going to do 5 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the next stitch, single in the next, and then we're going to repeat that for the next 2 chain spaces, and skip the next stitch and single in the last stitch, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 3. We're going to skip that last stitch right there, and we're going to single, or skip this stitch, and we're going to single in that last stitch to end the row. To start row 4, we're going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is going to count as a double crochet, chain 1. So we're going to go ahead and mark the second chain down from the hook. Turn the work. This stitch is already worked. That chain 3 right there counts right there for that stitch. We're going to skip this stitch right here, and we're going to start our single crochets with this stitch. So we're going to work 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, very similar to row 2. I'm going to repeat that all the way down the row. So chain 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. So continue that until you reach the last set, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. We're at the end of row 4. We've done our last 3 single crochets, and how we're going to end the row is we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go put a double crochet into that marked stitch, or that last stitch of the row from before, the previous row. That's what your work is looking like. To start row 5, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as a double crochet. So we're going to go ahead and mark the top of the chain. Turn the work. And in this very first chain space right here, put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Skip the next stitch, and in the next one put a single crochet. Skip the next stitch. We're going to go right into the chain space and put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next. So you're going to repeat that all the way down the row till you get to that last chain space. In that last chain space, you're going to put 3 double crochets. I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. We're at the end of row 5. In this last chain space, we're going to go ahead and take our stitch marker out first. In that last chain space, we're going to go ahead and put 3 double crochets to end the row. So 1, 2, and 3. To start row 6, we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and in that first 2 stitches, we're going to put single crochets. So 1 and 2. Now we can go ahead and mark that very first stitch as the first stitch of the row, if you like. Just makes it a little bit easier when we're coming back around. I'm going to chain up 3. Let's get that stitch marker down. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Skip the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3. And single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. It's very similar to the other chain 3 single crochet rows. The only difference is how we end the row. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. We're at the end of row 6. We have our last chain 3. We're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and we have 2 stitches remaining. We have a single crochet and we have the top of the turning chain. So we're going to go ahead and single crochet in the second to last stitch, and we're going to single crochet in the top of the turning chain which we had marked. And that ends row 6. So now we've completed our full 1 repeat. The repeat is from row 3 to row 6. So if you need to back up the video back to row 3, I'm going to say this, I will attempt to put the timestamp in the description box below. I've never done that before. Hopefully I'll be able to figure it out to get the timestamps for you for rows 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the description box below, so you can just click on those to go back to get your rows, the repeat rows. But all you need to do is do a repeat of rows 3, 4, 5, and 6 for however long you want your project. And then there'll be one last row, a row of single crochet, to finish off the top, the last row of your project. I'm going to add a few more repeats on here, and I'll come back and show you how to do the last row of single crochet. I have a few more repeats on. You will end with a repeat of row 6. For your very last row of your project, we're going to do a row of single crochet. So you would chain 1, turn the work, and in the first 2 stitches, single crochet, and you're going to come up to your chain space. Now you could put your 3 single crochets, 1 in each chain, but I find it just to be easier just to put them right into the chain space. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to come up to your 3 single crochets and just do 3, 1 in each single crochet. And then single crochet into the chain space 3 times. And again into your 3 single crochets, 1 each, 3 single crochets in the chain space, and so on till you reach to the end of your row. And that should give you the same stitch count as you started with your setup row or your row 1. So I'm just go ahead and finish this off. And then we're going to end with 2 single crochets in the last 2 stitches. Then we can go ahead and fasten off, leaving a little bit of a tail, so you can weave in your tail. And voila, we're finished. So you just weave in your tails, and if you're doing a blanket or a scarf, you can put an edge on there. You can do a border, or however you want to finish off your project. So thanks for watching, and happy crocheting! Bye-bye!